you for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can become a bridal makeup artist. So I've been a makeup artist for over 4 years now. I started doing weddings probably about a year after I started actually advertising my services. So I'd been practicing on friends and family for a while before I actually started to advertise my services, but I didn't actually get to do a wedding until probably just after a year of actually starting out. So today we're going to talk about how you can actually get into it, get bridal clients, the things that you need to use, the type of makeup you need to do, some things you need to learn, and just some general tips and tricks really. This video was actually requested on one of my other videos by a subscriber, so I thought I'd sit down and film this today. So let's get into it. So basically I had been doing sort of like occasion makeup for about a year before I got into wedding makeup. And I think the reason for this is just because I hadn't built a portfolio for myself. So at that time I just used Instagram to post pictures of my makeup that I'd been doing. So obviously by that point I had a bit of a back catalogue of makeup. I remember getting my very first bridal booking and it was a lovely girl, and she booked me in for a trial. I did a makeup and she absolutely loved it. I actually just wanted something like really subtle, focusing on like the pinks and stuff like that. In fact, I'm going to bring up a picture because I know that there's a picture from that trial on my makeup Instagram. I'll put it on the screen now. So this is the makeup that I did at the bridal trial. So as you can see, it's very simple, just a bit more of like a pinky tone shimmer, really neutral brown, and just a matte pink nude lip basically. Nothing too like extra, nothing too glam. She didn't wear a lot of makeup and that's basically what she asked for. But once I had done the trial, she was happy with it. I think at the time she did have quite a lot of bridesmaids, and I think I was supposed to be doing another 3 bridesmaids as well as her. And then when I turned up on the day and they started seeing the makeup, then the other bridesmaids who didn't want you doing in the first place was like, please can you do mine? And then I had to squeeze like another couple of people in, which was really stressful, but I managed to get everyone ready on time. And honestly, it's just a miracle. So I'm going to pop some pictures up from the bridesmaids and also her wedding photos, which I don't think she'll mind me using. She said I can use them on socials, so I'm sure she won't mind. She's lovely. But so that was my first wedding, and honestly I came out of there sweating. Like I was so nervous, so panicky, but once I was doing it I was fine. But like the more that time went on and I was thinking, oh my god, am I going to be ready, it was just like I was getting really nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have these people late for the wedding. But we finished within perfect timing, and that was honestly an amazing experience for me. The reason why I loved doing that so much was as a part of like someone's special day. I literally teared up when I saw her in a wedding dress. I'd met her like once at a trial and once afterwards, and I was like, oh, with all the bridesmaids when she came down. It really is a lovely atmosphere to work in, and it's so different to just doing occasion makeup, and I just find it really interesting. Like I really like it. So that's kind of how I got started. She actually found me on Instagram through me advertising on there and booked me in, and then obviously once I had her wedding pictures, it meant I could promote my wedding makeup a little bit more. So the annoying thing is you kind of have to do a wedding to get wedding bookings, but obviously there will be that one person who will find your makeup that you do and they'll love it anyway. The best piece of advice I would say is if you haven't done a wedding before and someone gets in touch and says, can I see your pictures of wedding makeup, or can I see some of your work? Go through the work that you've already done and just pick the ones that you think are like most suitable for weddings. So it'd probably be more on your subtle side, focusing on more neutral colours. I wouldn't send anything too colourful or too heavy and too glam. I'd probably focus on the work that you've done that's kind of on the subtle to sort of like the middle side of it, because people want to feel special on the wedding day, but a lot of people don't want loads of makeup. They don't want to feel cakey, and then obviously people don't want to feel like there's not enough on them. So it's just finding that balance really to be able to get it. So that's, I would say, is how you kind of get started. If you've never done makeup before and your aim is just to jump into bridal makeup, honestly, I would say you're probably going to struggle. Even if you do a course and you qualified, you need to gain that experience of working with different faces and different skin tones and stuff like that. And kind of the thing is, the more you do, the more that people will trust that you can do their wedding makeup. It's the biggest day of a woman's life, and makeup is the biggest thing. Like it's literally like everything that everyone's looking at, like the hair, the dress, the makeup, that's everything. So if the makeup's not right, you're literally going to ruin someone's day. Well, not ruin it, but it's a really big part of someone's day. So I would say that if you I would say any kind of experience you can get before that, even practicing on friends and family and posting those kind of bridal inspired makeup looks and stuff like that. People just need to see that you kind of know what you're doing, and that's the thing that you need to do. And I'd been posting, like I said, for I think over a year at that point. So she saw my other makeup and sort of got in touch that way. In fact, I don't think it was the bride that got in touch. I think it was her bridesmaid, but she didn't even live in the area that I did it in Sheffield. She just found me on there by typing Sheffield makeup artist. That was it. I think it was a bridesmaid who actually booked her. That's kind of how you want to get started. You want to get your experience. You want to keep practicing, post the type of makeup that is obviously bridal makeup like we talked about before, and that's how you want to sort of get started on it. So moving on to like how you get clients, I've spoke about this in my other videos, but obviously social media is a great way to advertise your services. Make sure that you're making your profile click, using your keywords. So Manchester makeup artist, Manchester MUA, wedding makeup artist, have it on your page, have it in your bio so people can see that that's the kind of makeup you do. Make sure that it's very, very clear. You can even put wedding makeup in your bio so that it's really, really clear. Next one is different websites. So I did mention in my last video, which I'll link down below, which was my how to become makeup artist in 2022 video, that I use Bridebook. I get a lot of bookings on Bridebook. I've had quite a few over the years. It is free to sign up. You create yourself a profile, you put pictures on, you put some rates on and stuff like that, and basically you just go from there, and they will contact you once they've looked at your page if they like what they see, and then you will send them an email directly and start talking about quotes and stuff. So they're the two main ones where I get it from. Obviously there's always things like Facebook and word of mouth and stuff like that, and once you've done one person's wedding makeup and they like it, then I've had people come back and go, you did such a person's makeup and I loved hers, she loved hers, so that's why I'm coming to you. So they're the kind of main ones of how you're going to get your bookings. Okay, so let's say you've got your experience, you've practiced your makeup skills, you're focusing on that kind of look, you are advertising for your clients and stuff like that. What are the things in place that I feel that you definitely need to have in place before you attend a bridal trial or do a wedding makeup? So there's a few different things. When it comes to wedding makeup, the focus needs to basically be on longevity of the makeup, but also how it looks, how it photographs, how it looks in real life. It is a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's not just doing makeup for a night out and someone's going to take some selfies with a filter on. There is going to be professional cameras taking pictures of the makeup that you've done. They are going to want to look good in real life. No one wants to walk up to the husband at the top of the aisle and then look at the makeup and be like, oh God, that's a bride's worst nightmare. They're the kind of things what you want to focus on, but having that balance between them all is actually really difficult sometimes. It's not an easy task, and it just takes a lot of practice and a lot of research. So for me, I always focus on making sure that I've got enough products in my kit that's going to make the skin nice and hydrated before I apply anything. I need full coverage foundations, but I also need sort of middle of the road ones and really light ones for clients who really, really don't want a lot of makeup. You're going to need a lot of different tones. It usually tends to stay in more of the neutral area, but lots of different shimmers and matte colours in your kit as well. The lip product is really important as well, so obviously it has to last a really long time, or going on the husband's face when it's now time to kiss a bride. They're the kind of things what I would say you need to make sure that you've got in. So I'm going to talk now a little bit about some kit favourites of mine, just so that you can see the couple of staples that I have in my kit for when I'm doing wedding makeup. The first one I would say is a decent moisturiser. So I carry a couple of different ones. I carry the Glossybox moisturiser, I carry Nivea Soft, and they're the kind of ones that really I use the most, to be honest. I found that they're really good. They work for a lot of skin tones. The Nivea Soft is for anyone who's got like sensitive skin, so I'm sort of tailoring those products to any of them, and then the Glossybox one I'd pretty much use on any other skin. So I'd say for making sure it's moisturised, that's really important. In terms of foundations, I really, really love the NARS Radiant Longwear. I feel like it pretty much suits everyone. I carry a few different shades in my kit and then I just mix them together to get the skin tone that I desire. And I have found that that is honestly one of the best. I feel like it looks beautiful. It's got coverage, but it's glowy and it's lightweight. It's not cakey and it just lasts like for me, that is the best one. The ones that I do really like, if someone has got really oily skin, I'd probably use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation because that's really good for oily skin. And I did also used to use the L'Oreal True Match a lot as well, but I kind of replaced that with a NARS because I would say that they're quite similar. The True Match is probably a little bit runnier, but I would say that they're quite similar in the effects that they give, but I just prefer the NARS one, to be honest. Concealer wise, I like to use the Barry M All Night Long concealer or the NARS Radiant Creamy concealer as well. They're really, really good ones. In terms of like your bronzer and stuff, it depends on your client. If your client wears a lot of makeup or wears makeup regularly, they're probably going to want something a little bit more full on, but always carry it like a more of a subtle bronzer. So like for me, like now I've got quite a warm sort of orangey toned bronzer on. Some people really don't like that. They want a little bit more of that cool, just a really slight bronze to them. So you need to make sure you're carrying a few different shades of bronzer, especially for paler skin tones as well. So then after that, your other things are obviously making sure you got the right makeup palettes. I carry a mixture of makeup palettes, a lot of Beauty Bay ones, Iconic London ones. They're really good. Lashes, I tend to always stick on the natural side. You will get the odd bride who says that they want full lashes, so I always make sure that I've got them in my kit. At the minute, I've been using a lot of the pound lashes, which are really good, but the best bridal lashes I've used are the Ardell Demi Wispers. They are like just a really beautiful, subtle eyelash, and they just make it look like they've got eyelash extensions or just really, really full eyelashes themselves. And then in terms of lips, so lips is something that I've always struggled with as a bridal makeup artist. So I tend to try and give my bride a lipstick to take away with them for the day, or ask them to get one that's really similar, and or if they have one in mind that they would like to use, we use that, just because I still haven't found a lipstick that lasts hours and can last through eating and drinking. I've bought some of the ones that say like 24 hours, and honestly they're just disgusting on the lips. They're really matte and chalky and drying, and that's not a good look either. So I would definitely say if you can afford to, or if you can take it out of the cost, then either gift the bride a lipstick, which obviously always goes down really well with a client anyway. It's nice to give them something back, or ask the client to pick their lipstick up and a lip liner and a lip gloss, whatever you're going to be using, so that they can top it up throughout the day. Most brides honestly don't mind doing it because they'd rather have the lipstick being topped up throughout the day than just have it once in the morning and not have anything on for the rest of the day. So most people don't mind it if you ask. So they're the kind of my kit favourites of things that I sort of like to keep in my kit and make sure that I'm always really prepared for the appointments. In terms of pricing, so pricing is something that I get asked quite a lot about. Obviously it varies on your experience, your location, how many people that you're going to be doing, the kind of products you use. It is such a broad spectrum of it's really hard to say because it depends on so many different things and travel and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you some rough guides as to how much I charge for makeup. So at the moment my bridal prices start from around £30 and they go up to £50. So basically what I base that on is how many people I'll be doing on the day. So if I have a few more people to do, I feel like I can discount things a little bit more so that they pay less per person, because I feel like on a group booking I'm already there, I'm in one place, I don't mind adding a bit of a discount. If there was just a bride to do, I would have to charge a little bit more just because of the time it takes to travel there, the prep work. And if they had, say, one bridesmaid, I'm going to have to charge a little bit more than I would someone who's going to have like 4 or 5. Because for me, if I'm already there and I'm doing one after the other, it's a lot easier for me. So I don't mind giving a bit of a discount on group bookings. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Honestly, I should be charging a little bit more for how much experience I have. And the reason that I don't is basically because at the moment for me, makeup is a bit of a side hustle, a part-time. I have a full-time office job. So for me, I don't really depend on it to be able to pay my bills and stuff like that. And I like to try and keep it as affordable as possible. Honestly, the one thing that I hate, and I really, really hate, is when makeup artists will hike up a price just because someone says wedding makeup. Now, don't get me wrong, wedding makeup does take longer. You tend to use different types of products. It is a different type of appointment and there's a lot more that comes with it. Usually you travel into somewhere, even if you normally work in a salon doing makeup, you would tend to travel to the place. So I understand there is a price increase. The same with me. My makeup appointments that I charge for like everyday makeup is lower than that, but Literally, like, we're talking £5, £10, 15 at the most. And that's just to take into account the other factors into the appointment. But you literally will get, I heard of a makeup artist once, that this woman, I was doing a makeup and she'd been married a couple of years before. And she said that she booked in for a normal makeup, So she said that she booked in for a normal makeup appointment at a salon with this girl. And I think she said that she charged her £25 for a full face with lashes. So it could have been 30, it was 25 to £30 anyway. And she basically showed her a picture of basically what she'd want for a wedding. So she wanted to go and see what this girl was like, see how she did makeup. When she came away, she loved it. So she was thinking like, I'm just gonna book in then. So she messaged a girl and said, I'd like to book you for my wedding makeup. Can I book you in, please? I'm not kidding. She quoted her £70 just for hers. And she was like, I'm sorry, why is it £70? Like, I got my makeup done the other day. It was definitely 30, it was £30. She said, I got my makeup done the other day and it was 30. And she said, it's different for wedding makeup. Right, it's different, but it's not double different. And that was for her to go to the salon and get it done. That wasn't even for her to travel. That was just for her to go and sit in the same chair that she had sat in, and she wanted to charge her double. I'm sorry, but that is wrong. There's nothing more that she would have done. Really, other than that, she might have taken her time a little bit more and give herself a bit more time. Maybe got some different products in if she knew it was wedding makeup. But to be honest, the makeup that she wanted was what she had when she went and sat in the chair anyway, before she even mentioned a wedding. So to me, that is honestly wrong, in my opinion. People make a fortune off wedding makeup, and I do believe that you should charge your worth, and I do believe that you should charge more if you're spending more time there. But for me, I just feel like I just don't agree with it. I really don't. Some people will charge, like I see on TikTok sometimes, that you will see people, it tends to be in America more, but you will see people who work at home or in a salon and they're charging like $200 for makeup or $250. The makeup's not even that good. I'm sorry, but anyone who's going to charge that needs telling. Like, that's a lot. I want to make sure that I point out that there is a difference between being a celebrity makeup artist or building up a profile where you are a bit more of a well-known artist and you get paid more for your time, you do shoots and stuff like that. But if you are literally doing one makeup for £30 and then the next day you're going to tell them it's 70 to sit in the same chair and have the same makeup, you're doing something wrong. So yeah, so that's kind of where the pricing sits. Obviously, again, if you are based in London, for example, you're probably going to want to charge a little bit more. The cost of living's a little bit more. I understand if you're counting on it for income, then that obviously has an effect on it as well. The next section I'm just going to have as like my general tips and tricks. So just things that have helped me or things that I've done wrong, whatever it might be. When you are providing a quote to a client, you need to make sure you're getting as much information as possible. So ask them if they're having a trial, where the trial will be, how many bridesmaids they've got, if they've got any mothers of, if they've got any if they've got any younger bridesmaids that want it doing. Like, get as much information as you can so you can provide an accurate quote and you know exactly what you're doing on the day. Obviously, when you turn up to the bridal trial, you can talk about timings and stuff like that there. It's always really good to take that opportunity to do it rather than doing it on the phone afterwards. You're already there doing the bridal trial anyway, so you might as well sort all the logistics out. For wedding makeup, I would always say to take a deposit. Obviously, it's not really often that weddings get cancelled completely. Obviously with COVID, a lot of them got moved. So anyone who'd booked a wedding with me during 2020 and some in 2021, if they paid a deposit, I just moved it onto the new date if I could do it, because obviously that was unavoidable. But I would always take a deposit for your bridal trial. I do 50% of the bridal trial cost, and then I also ask for a deposit for the wedding day as well, which usually I make the cost of the bride, just to have it in place. Obviously, when you are sending an email or a message to say that a deposit is required, there is a little bit of a legality thing somewhere where I watched this makeup artist video, I watched this makeup artist story once, and she was explaining that you have to put in your like terms and conditions that there is a cancellation fee. So not that you've got a non-refundable deposit, you have to say, so for example, there is a deposit of £30, and then in the cancellation thing, you would say the cancellation fee is £30. So basically you would keep the deposit. Now, some people don't agree with people keeping deposits, but there is a very good reason, especially with wedding makeups, why I do that. And that is because a lot of weddings are obviously on weekends. They are the busiest time for a makeup artist. I've had inquiries for the same day in for wedding makeup before. So if I booked one person in and got the deposit and thought everything was fine, someone comes and asks me for that date and I say, I'm sorry, I've got another wedding in, I can't do it. And then the person I've got booked in cancels. I can't then go back to that bride and say, actually, I'm free, because at that point they've probably already sorted someone out. I've lost money. I'm not going to be able to fill that wedding date, whether it's close to it or not. And I'd be lucky if I was able to get some weekend appointments booked in. So it just covers your back a little bit to recoup some of the money that you might have lost in the event of a cancellation. The next tip is basically always make sure that your bride is happy with the makeup when you leave the trial. So the amount of people that I've done bridal trials with and I've left, and then after they've said, I didn't like this, this and this. At that point, it's too late. You've already left, and then the next opportunity to make any changes is the wedding day, and you don't want that kind of pressure. Before you leave, make sure you ask them, is there anything you would like different? Is there anything that you want me to take away, to add on? Do you want me to wipe off completely and start again? Like, whatever it is that they've got concerns about, you need to encourage them to be honest with you. Explain that you're not going to be offended, that this is the opportunity for them to tell you, and be honest about what they like and don't like about it, and then you can change it and find something you are happy with. I would say you pretty much should only really believe in the trial, having the wedding booked in with the bride happy with how it looks. Sometimes people come back later on and say, oh, like, I noticed I've wore it for a few hours now, I think I'd like my brows different or whatever. That's fine, but if someone's got like a real problem with it, like I had a woman booked in once, and she showed me a picture of wedding makeup that she wanted, and she said, I want it really natural like this, really subtle. The problem is, when it comes to pictures and cameras, is it diffuses makeup. So whenever I picture makeup and take pictures on my camera, on my phone, the makeup always looks more subtle than it does in real life. So for me to be able to get them that look on camera, I'd have to put more makeup on the face. But once you put more on the face, people start looking and going, oh, I've got more than that picture. What they don't realise is that the person in the picture would have had that amount of makeup on. So it's definitely a balancing act. I always ask my brides to find inspiration pictures, and there was this one woman, she showed me a picture and she said, I want it really subtle, and I explained to her, I said, you know, that looks subtle on a picture, she'll probably have a bit more on in real life. And I explained that to her and she said, that's fine. And we did the makeup and she said, yeah, fine, happy with that. Is there anything you want to change? No, I'm fine. And she basically then messaged me later on saying that it was too much makeup, she wasn't happy with it, and she's going to find another artist. Now that for me is honestly like, it's gutting, it's not nice. It feels like someone's telling you that you're not very good at your job. That's what it feels like. But what I did explain to her, and I tried to get her to do, is to tell me if you feel that way, because I can tone down makeup very easily. I can blend things out, I can soften things, we can get it to a place that you like. But I don't think what she realised was the makeup that I did on the picture would look exactly the same as that woman's did on her inspiration picture. In fact, I even toned it down a bit so she'd feel a bit more comfortable in real life. I came to realise that she literally basically wanted next to no makeup, like next to none at all. Which is actually really hard to do when you are a makeup artist, to get it to like the really, really minimal. And I had a woman once that booked me, and when I got there, she said that she just wanted mascara and eyeshadow. And what did she say? I think it was like tinted moisturiser and lipstick. And for me, that's like, you know, okay, I'll do that. And I did that, and it felt empty. Her face felt empty to me, because I'm thinking I could just do a really light blush here, or a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of concealer, a little bit of, and I'm thinking I want to add this on to make her feel like that, but that's what she wanted, and that's what I did. I went back on a wedding date, we did the same thing. She said she loved it, For me, it was really minimal. Like, she basically looks like she hardly had any makeup on at all. And on pictures, she wouldn't have, but she said she felt comfortable. That's all that matters. So I kind of feel like I've covered a lot of information. Feel like I've been talking and waffling at a million miles an hour for quite some time, to be honest. If you've got any questions or you want to see any kind of other videos related to being a makeup artist or anything like that, please just comment them down below. Message me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram on the screen now. So this one is actually my YouTube Instagram, which I'll be linking, but I do actually have a makeup artist one that's just for my makeup, which is at Demi-Makeup as well, if you wanted to take a look at that. I have separate pages for those. So yeah, hopefully this video was helpful in some way. Hopefully you got something from it. Like I said, if you want any advice or you have any questions, please just feel free to message me, because I'll always message back. But thank you very much for watching this video. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you here again very soon. Bye.